Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Monica and this is my playthrough of Sweet Transit version 1.1. This is episode 3. At the end of the last episode, I got a little flummoxed because I didn't quite know what was going on. I knew that after I built the stoneworks, the next thing I wanted to do was build a new village. But for some reason I thought that I needed to unlock something in order to build that new village. And so I spent the rest of the episode trying to figure out how to unlock new villages. I finally figured out at the end of the episode that in fact the village hall, right here, always was unlocked, and I could have built a new village at any time, basically. In fact, a village hall is the second building that you build in the game, immediately after the warehouse. And so the village hall unlocks immediately after you build the warehouse. And the only thing preventing you from building new villages after that point immediately is that it requires cut stone, and you don't have any additional cut stone. You just have enough cut stone for the first village hall. And so as soon as you start producing cut stone, you can build a new village. As soon as you've produced 100 units of cut stone, you can build a new village. So all the effort that I put into the game in the last episode after I was producing cut stone was just not necessary. I could have built a new village pretty much at any time. It's particularly embarrassing if you go back and watch the end of that episode. Immediately after I build the stoneworks, I start talking about what I want to build next, and I even go down to the list of buildings and scroll through it and talk about the new and upcoming things that you can see down here and my intention to build them. And while I was doing that, the cursor in fact stopped briefly on the village hall, and the build requirements and other information about the village hall popped up. But I didn't actually stay on the village hall for long enough to take that information in. That actually happened at least one more time during the remainder of the video as I was continuing to try to figure out what to do, and I just completely missed it. So I'm sure there's a lesson in here of some kind. Hopefully, I will make fewer mistakes in the future. I'm also reminded that I've been saying in each episode that I encourage any questions or comments from either people who might be new players or people who are interested in playing the game, and also comments or questions from people who have experience with the game. But this experience goes to show that I do not know everything and I do make mistakes. But I do enjoy talking about the game. So if you do have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section and I will keep an eye out for them and try to respond. All right. So with that out of the way, I'm ready to do the next thing in the game. So I do intend to build a village. Actually, hopefully I can build 2 new villages during this episode. But I realized there are a couple of other things I want to do first. The first is I just want to talk about the user interface. Just to say that I play the game, as I've said, on the Steam Deck, and I use Steam Remote Play to display the game on a monitor. And in fact, the video images for this YouTube video are recorded from my computer monitor where I'm viewing the game. That means that this game doesn't play exactly like it would play if I were playing on a PC. It also doesn't play exactly like it would play if I were playing on the Steam Deck. One difference in the graphics, which I've sometimes talked about, is the motion of the trains can sometimes appear a little jerky through Steam Remote Play. And when you're scrolling around, the scrolling can sometimes appear a little jerky. I feel like I should say that it does not appear that way on the built-in screen on the Steam Deck. I'm actually looking at that screen right now and can confirm that the motion is smoother on the built-in screen on the Steam Deck than it is on the screen through Steam Remote Play. Another change which I thought might be of interest to people is, in the first episode, I talked about the UI on Steam Deck, and I went into the settings and I actually changed the setting on the UI scale on the Steam Deck. Because the screen is so small on the Steam Deck, in order for the UI to be visible, the scale is increased from 1 to 1.4, which means that the UI ends up taking up a lot more space on the screen on the Steam Deck than it would playing on the PC. So to just fully demonstrate that, I'm going to open up the unlock list over here, and I'm going to click on a building, any building. Let's click on the warehouse over here. So now we have the information about the unlock list on the left side of the screen. We have the building on the right side of the screen. We have the build menu down here across the bottom, and then various icons across the top of the screen. And all of the user interface items are taking a lot of the space on the screen. We still have this remaining area in the center where you can actually see the game itself. You can see what's happening, but it's pretty restricted. It's big enough you can get by, but this is what it looks like. As a more dramatic example, if you open up the train depot to build a new train, this is what the user interface in the train depot for building new trains looks like. It just fills the entire screen. One of the things you can do in the train depot if you want to build a new train is click on a new train that you can see on the screen. It's not impossible, but the space that you have to work with to click on trains is just this little area up here. Getting that right can be a little bit tricky. So this is what the user interface usually looks like if you're playing on the Steam Deck, or it's the default user interface size playing on the Steam Deck. Thought people might be interested to see that. I'm going to go ahead now and change the setting on the user interface back to the scale of 1 on the UI scale. Here we are, UI scale 1. Which effectively makes this UI scale the same size that it would be on a monitor that is 800 pixels tall. Again, 800 pixels tall at this point is still a little small for a monitor, but it's the size of it's the resolution of the Steam Deck display. So when we apply and we accept and we continue, we come back in, you can see the user interface for the train depot. Even if I open it up into the full interface to add a new train, you can see there's a lot more available screen space. You can see the unlock list over on the right takes up a lot less space. The information on the warehouse on the left also takes a lot less space. So I thought I should talk through that in case it's of interest to people watching this video. Next thing I wanted to talk about, let me close both of these. Next thing I wanted to talk about, or next thing I want to do actually, is I often wish in this game that there was a compass. There's just something telling you this is north, south, east, and west, because it's convenient to talk about, and even just to think about things that are happening in the game in terms of compass directions. I'd like to be able to talk about the north side of Madrid or the south side of Madrid. And with no compass, I wondered if there is a built-in indication in the game of the directions of the compass points, and it turns out there is. If you look at the shadows of the trees, you can see they change direction during the day. So The sun rises in the east, and so the shadows should point to the west in the morning. And then the sun sets in the west, and that means the shadows should point to the east. And you can use that to figure out what directions east and west are, and therefore what directions north and south are. So I'm going to use that information now to build a compass, just to have it on screen so I can refer to these compass directions, both for the purposes of this video and just to help my thinking about what is happening in this game. So I want to put this compass somewhere where I hope it'll be out of the way. If I end up needing to move it later, I will. So there we are. If we use the shadows to determine where north and south are, it turns out that north is straight down. This is a little disappointing. I was hoping that, I assumed in fact, that north would be in the direction of the grid, so basically diagonally on the screen. Instead, it's straight down on the screen, which means it's diagonally on the grid, which is going to be a little bit inconvenient for thinking about the directions around the map in terms of compass points. The other thing is, the map is upside down. North is pointing down. The good news is we can rotate the entire map. Once, twice, and now north is pointing up, which I think I need to do this. This will just make more sense to me to think of north as up. Having north pointing down all the time would just be wildly disorienting. The problem is that having turned the map around, everything I've built is now in different locations than it used to be. I used to think of Madrid as being at the bottom of the area that I built out, and now it's at the top of the area that I built out. So I will have to get used to that, but I think this is something that I want to be doing. Now that I've checked, I don't think I can ignore the fact that I know that, I don't think I can ignore the fact that the shadows point in the directions that they do. It's early morning, so the shadows need to be pointing west right now. And I also don't think I can, if I know that, I can't function with the map being upside down, with north pointing down instead of north pointing up. So, I feel like I've made the game harder for myself, but we will continue from here. The next thing that I wanted to do before building out a new village is one of the other things that I can build now that I can build cut stone is I can build stone bridges. And I realized I want to redesign the train junctions in the game, this one and the other one further along the track, to use the bridges so that we can prevent any rail crossings. We have 3 rail crossings here, and then we could also count out the number of rail crossings here. Basically, there are the 2 lines here which end up crossing the 3rd line and then each other. So I guess that probably counts as 3 separate crossings again as well. We want to eliminate those by using stone bridges because the crossings slow down trains. And then I took things a step further. As I was thinking about redesigning the crossings, I realized there's another problem. There's another mistake I feel like I've made in building out the map so far, which is that I have been putting some of the major train stations that I've built, especially Madrid Station and the Quarry Station, directly on the main rail lines that I'm building out. And thinking about it, I realized that's a mistake. I don't want to have these train stations on the main rail lines because I will want to have trains passing through and not having to stop at the stations. And if they have to actually pass through the station, even if they don't stop, they will be slowed down by other trains which do stop. So that's what I have to do. I'm going to redesign the rail. As I'm doing that, I'm going to let the game keep running. At various times when I was building things out in the previous video, I stopped the game from running so I could do the construction. And the trade-off there is that means that nothing is getting produced while the game is paused. This was a problem both for the potato farm, where after I built the potato farm, I had to wait for a while before I actually produced enough potatoes that the village actually started having access to the potatoes, and also for the quarry, where I had to wait for a long time after I built the quarry before the cut stone really became available in town. So I'm going to let things keep running as I make these changes. I feel like I'm taking on a little bit of risk here. We will go ahead and do it. We will take that chance. So we want to start here at the quarry station. As long as I'm making these changes in the rail, I'm also going to make another change, which is another use of cut stone, is that you can now build stone roads. So I am going to upgrade the existing roads, at least at my industries, from dirt roads to stone roads. So there's this built-in upgrade tool which makes this easy to identify things that can be upgraded and to upgrade them. Anything which can be upgraded has the giant arrow on it. So now we have stone roads at the quarry station. And stone roads are easier for the workers to walk on, and so it increases the range of absolutely everything that they are connected to. Another thing I want to do while I'm staring at the quarry station before I start putting in rail is we need a lot of cut stone at this point. And so even though we're actually doing okay for the amount of cut stone that we have right now, I would like to build more. I would like to produce more. And so the first thing I'm going to build is a distribution center. If you build a distribution center around a bunch of industries, it can improve the performance of the industries generally, but also there's a multiplier effect. If the distribution center is only connected to a single type of industry, there is a performance multiplier for all of those industries. So we will go ahead and build you, and then we will add more road, and then we can build another quarry here. Yeah, I like this. So I'm trying to figure out how to pack in more quarries as tightly as possible. So we'll do this one like this. We will add in the storage for the quarry. And now we have to connect the distribution center. Our input will be quarry, and our output will be the station. And you can see immediately the distribution center is in range of 2 different quarries, and so it is getting a specialization bonus of 10%. These quarries will just run faster now. Meanwhile, the second quarry itself copied the first quarry, and so has both its input and its output correctly selected. So as soon as workers arrive here, our production will improve. All right, now I can start working on moving the rail. So the first thing I wanted to check, to build out part of the station, I'm just looking to see where the edge of the station is, trying to imagine how large I could ever want to make the station. It's actually large enough to potentially cause problems. So instead I'm going to use that to build my new rails. Rather than having the rail coming directly into the quarry station, we're going to have the rail in this direction down here. My thinking about how I'm going to do this is that I'm going to have a single input to the quarry station. So every train arriving at the quarry station is going to arrive from the same place. And long-term trains may depart from the quarry station in either direction. Oh, hey, we've unlocked another thing. We've unlocked the tram, or the in-village train station. We are going to be just straight crossing the existing tracks in the direction of Madrid, because we're going to be moving that rail as well. I'm ignoring the fact that I'm building out these two junctions right now. I will fix these junctions when there's someplace to go on that rail. The next place to do an upgrade is we will upgrade the potato farm, and we want to upgrade all of the road. And now we are going to build out our new rail lines, and we want the main rail line in this direction, like the new rail line that I put in the other direction. I put as close as I could to the water. This rail line I'm going to put as close as I can to this mountain. In Madrid station, all of the trains that are coming through right now are stopping on the platform, which is headed northwest. So we're just going to build this rail out to support that. We're going to build this stone bridge, and we're going to build this rail, and also that rail. It is possible I've gotten my placement wrong on that. We will find out. So in the future, any train coming to Madrid station will be coming in on this line and then do this jug handle to come out, cross the main train line, and then enter the station. The coal line, the line going to the coal mine station, I'm not worried about. There isn't a lot of space to move it anyway. There isn't really enough space to put in a separate line in this direction past the coal mine. Okay, so things about trains. Trains like going in straight lines, and they like going flat. And so to the extent that we can, we want trains which are sort of on the main line to be going as straight as they possibly can and as flat as they possibly can. And so anytime you look at a junction, if you can, you want to make a judgment call about which directions are the important directions. It is possible that I'm going to want to send a rail this way at some point. For that matter, it's possible I'm going to want to send trains this way at some point. But the main direction that we want to be going in is from the northwest to the southwest. So we're going to make those flat. So if those two are flats, then the other directions need to be bridges. Coming back from the potato farm and we want to head to the southwest, we need to be able to make a left turn here. The left turns are always the hardest. For the trains that are coming straight through from the northwest to the southeast, we can just build in a bridge here. Trains will actually have to make a little jog to reach that. And then for trains which are making this left turn, I know how I want to do it. I haven't really given myself enough space to do it. I am committed to my placement of the rail. And so what I'm going to do is some blasting in the mountains to open up the space that I need to build the rail that I need. So this will be possible. All right, so at this point, this rail is ready to use. We do need to add signals. So this area is entirely ready to go, I think. We will find out soon. And what's left is this intersection. I don't think I can redesign this intersection while trains are running. It's just going to take too much. So now's the time. We have to pause so we can redesign this intersection. The main line here is going straight. So we'll draw those in flat. So now the rail lines coming from the coal mine can jump all three existing rail lines. We will just add in right turns on either side. They'll be fine. It's unfortunate because you won't actually be able to get into the depot from this rail. You have to come from this side at this point. But I think I'm willing to live with that. We could build the other left turn symmetric. We'll be coming from the northwest and we want to get onto this bridge to head to the northeast. But I'm not going to build it that way. And the reason why is this left turn that I've built in, there are no trains actually taking that left turn right now. That's probably going to change eventually. On the other hand, this left turn is currently used by the train delivering coal to Madrid. So I want to reduce the number of corners that trains coming in that direction have to take. And so I'm going to not build this in a symmetric way. The other reason to not build it in a symmetric way is that means that trains turning left in either direction would end up sharing this track, and trying to design intersections so that trains going in different directions don't share track at all. And then finally, we need to add in the 2 right turns, both of which are in active use right now. So we want to make sure they're there and will work. And so we do actually have a rail crossing here at this point, but just between trains that are headed to the coal mine and trains that are entering the depot. And we don't have trains actually entering the depot very often. I have not given consideration to where the trains are. The entire network is connected at this point. Some of the trains might be lost. We'll find out when we turn it back on. Now we have lots of signals everywhere, and all the track that's in active use is connected, I'm pretty sure. Let me see. If I check my routes right now, what do they think is happening? Stone and Sands and Madrid are doing what? Well, okay, they're mostly doing what they're supposed to do. Coming back. You're actually stopped right now, so I can do this. Okay, now that route is correct. The 4 routes, let me check all of them. We have coal to Madrid, looks correct. We have Madrid workers to industries, comes into Madrid, out to you. I'm missing a right turn. Am I missing both right turns? No, I have the 1 right turn. Why don't I have the other one already built? Glad I checked. Close you so I can build in rail. Wondering if I need to make those further apart, and also if I need to worry about it. Because right now, if a train is on this bit, it could end up blocking trains coming in this direction. I think I'm making this more difficult than it needs to be. So that if trains are coming up and over this bridge, they should be able to stop, I hope. Because of the way I've been adding and removing rail, some of my signal spacing is a little wonky. Should be okay. Double check all my routes again. All of my routes I think are now fixed and work. So I'm going to turn it back on and see if anything breaks. Nothing started complaining yet. So I'm going to delete the unused track. Knew this would happen. Problem with deleting rail while trains are running on the rail is sometimes you break connections that trains currently need. So put that back in. These trains can get out. Basically, I'm going to hope that this is a temporary problem. And now that both of those trains have gone through, I'm going to take this rail back out. In the long run, we want trains running in both directions through Madrid, but we'll fix that problem later. Okay, one more thing to do before I build a new village. I'm sorry, 2 more things to do. I also want to upgrade the road at the coal mine, and that was it. One more thing to do before I build a new village, which is I unlocked the upgrade for faster trains in the last episode. When I brought up the depot earlier, you can see all of my trains right now are using the ST10 locomotive, which is a top speed of 30 kilometers per hour. I've unlocked the ST20 locomotive with a top speed of 35 kilometers per hour. They also corner faster. And the trade-off is they consume a little bit more coal. So we'd like to upgrade all of our existing trains to the faster speed, and there's an easy way to do that upgrade. Okay, to show how upgrading trains works, we are going to select the train itself. So we see it's moving right now. It is carrying a bunch of workers. I'm actually going to wait for it to deliver the workers because those are all new workers in various places, and we want to actually have those. And we can open the upgrade list. We're now bringing a bunch of workers, a bunch of tire workers back to Madrid. So we're going to select the new engine we want to put in the thing, the ST20, and then click on upgrade. And what happens is the train disappears. A moment later, a new train comes out of the depot with the faster engine and start moving around the entire map faster. And we got a new news of the rail. News of the rail, day 8. New locomotive rolls into town. The ST-20 has arrived. Monica Land has started importing ST-20 locomotives. The ST-20 is the most used steam locomotive in the world, outpacing the ST-10. However, critics warn that even the most advanced engine will fail if the rail network that supports it isn't up to code. We also have news items about the quarry. The quarry opens. A new quarry has begun extracting stone. Construction of stone structures and bridges can begin soon. And about the potatoes. Spuds everywhere after local potato farms first harvest. And finally, an ad for the House of Worship. The Great Train rewards worshippers with stamps. I enjoy getting the news. Just that little bit of progress during the game. So we've upgraded this train. Let's move on to the next train. Coal to Madrid. Train 2, potatoes to Madrid. Stone and sand to Madrid. Now things are a little backed up because the second and third trains that I built were behind the coal train, and it has to stop to load new coal. So unfortunately, by doing all this, I've caused a little bit of a traffic jam. And now I'm going to build a settlement. The question is, where do I want to build this new settlement? I'm thinking about two things. I want to be expanding to the north. I want to get to this area, just sort of generally. I'm going to be looking to cross in one way or another up into this area as well. Although there's not actually a lot of resources there. I do want to be going that way, potentially also coming around in this direction at some point. We also want to be building to the south in various directions, to the southwest, so we can get to all of this iron ore to the south, and the southeast to get to all of this clay. The direction I want to build in first, I think, is to the north. I want to build a new village here. I should explain why I want to build new villages. So I put in over here this distribution center, which is causing the quarries to now work at 110%. So I'm now producing 33 stone and 33 sand per minute from each quarry, rather than producing 30 from each. The same kind of specialization happens in the settlements. So in this settlement at this point, I have 3 stoneworks, I believe. And because there are more stoneworks than anything else in this settlement, they again have a 5% bonus per stoneworks. And so we're producing at a rate of 115%. And so I'm producing 21 cut stone per minute at each stoneworks rather than 18 probably. So for each industry that we want to build in a settlement, if we have a different settlement to specialize in that industry, they will be more effective at producing that good. And so in Madrid, we also have this single fishing dock, which is currently working at 100%. It's producing 20 fish per minute. At this point, we have 1,200 laborers in Madrid because I just kept expanding it last episode. And so we can see the consumption rate at this point is actually 31. So I'm going to run out of fish if I'm not careful. So solution, build a village specifically to produce fish. And so I'm going to build that village over here. My plan is I'm going to build a road close to the water. And then from the road, we are planning to build a small station nearby. And the way I will get access to that small station is actually across a bridge. Repeat the same station design I have in Madrid. And now I'm going to build in a new station. It's currently named Small Station 1. I'm going to rename it as soon as I actually do build the settlement. And then build another stone bridge the other direction. And we can build another road, and then we can build our new settlement. Settlement number 2. We put the village hall here. You can see lots and lots of waterfront. So we'll be able to build in many fishing docks if we need them. So there's my new settlement. It has been named Vatican City. Because I've already built out one village, it immediately unlocks a bunch of stuff for this village. I don't have to go through the full unlock process again. Before I do more building, I'm going to rename this station to Vatican City Station. Things we need. I want more roads around the village hall. I'm just deliberately building in some space around the village hall so I can put some of the essential buildings. I'll build a water tower right here so I can unlock the market. I'm going to put the market right here. And at the point of dropping a water tower there is I can extend the road out more and now build some residences. And I'm going to pause my construction enough because I have more news. News of the rail, day 9. Who is Monica Land's shadowy ruler? There are rumors around who really runs Monica Land. Believe it or not, it is said that all of the colony's planning and problems can be traced to a single person. Some say it may even be a god. People have given this individual a name, Monica M. They say that if you feel as though you are being watched, be on your best behavior, as it might be Monica M. And other news items: new village founded. A new village called Vatican City has been established. Immigration applications are now being accepted. And also, Monica Land continues to grow. Colony founds its second settlement. We've dropped in our second settlement, we've dropped a bunch of housing, we have a market, we have a couple of water towers. I will point out, 50 people have immediately moved in, 60 laborers have immediately moved in. If you remember the end of the last episode, I spent a huge amount of time trying to get 50 more laborers to move into Madrid, and actually I've completely overshot at this point. The population of Madrid is now much higher than I intended for it to be at this time. And if I had just built a new settlement, if I had known that that was something I was able to do, we would be good to go. So we still have problems. The market has no supplies at this point. And the reason why is because this is supposed to be a fishing village, and I haven't actually built any fishing docks yet. The fishing docks can now produce fish. In fact, they already are. Workers have headed straight there, but they need to be able to put the fish somewhere. And so we'll add output storage to the station. What's going to happen is these workers are going to deliver fish to the station. The market will then pull the fish directly from the station. And all this should happen pretty much automatically. And not only do we have 60 laborers in town, we already need even more. And we have now just unlocked a bunch of stuff in Vatican City. And our house of worship will go right here. We now have 2 labor population targets, 1,300 and 1,500. Vatican City now is producing its own fish. Vatican City is producing an excess of fish. We actually want to send the excess fish up to Madrid. Vatican City is not producing any potatoes, so we want to bring potatoes to Vatican City. So that means we need to extend the rail line. Again, we're going to have rail running in both directions. But the first question is, where do I want my main rail line down here to be? And the answer is, I want this line to be coming through this pass. There's more news. News of the rail. A clear future? Indoor trains to provide help at home. Inventors are experimenting with indoor trains designed to help the elderly move around, including over stairs, and provide the joy of a steam engine ride in the comfort of your own home. Though initial testing raised concerns about indoor pollution, inventors believe that burning diesel instead will cut down smoke and improve visibility. And second news item, Monica Land's population over 1,000. The way trains will exit from Vatican City, I'm only going to build out this side right now. And we already have a problem with the crossing right here. Should have designed this the right way in the first place. Or I can force trains to go the other route right now. Taking the approach of laziness now and more work later, which will never cause problems for me. So things should be good. I believe I have correctly connected rail over there at this point, and we need to connect the rail on the other side as well. Cool. So now, I believe I'm already at the stage where trains can get to Vatican City and back from the rest of the rail network. But we have to redesign things, we need to be able to make left turns. So, trains can now enter Madrid Station from the direction of Vatican City. They can't exit at this point, so I need to fix that. I'm making a design mistake. Something I do not do enough of is use blueprints for building out rail. So let me demonstrate that, even though this intersection is a little bit of a mess. I was trying to recreate this intersection, but I've already done it once, so why am I making the effort to actually rebuild it by hand when I can just copy what I've done before? So this is the whole thing. We've copied it. We can save the blueprints. And we are going to call you T-junction. So this is neat. If you use the same rail design regularly, rather than having to build that rail design out every time, you can just copy it once and paste it wherever you want it to go, because we want over here this junction to be exactly the same design as the existing junction, except rotated 90 degrees or 180 degrees. Let me drop you for a moment, wait for all the trains to actually clear this area, which they should do eventually. They're just coming a little too densely. Now I can pause the map, the game. I can delete a bunch of stuff. And now paste in my T-junction. I think I'm copying now. Do I do it from here? It says press Control-C to copy to clipboard or Control-V to paste. Works great on Windows. There's got to be a way to do it. There we go. I can rotate it, which is all I need to do. In this case, I could also mirror it if I needed to. And you will just go right here. And this is exactly the design I was trying to rebuild by hand. And then let me remove this one piece of extraneous rail and then copy this again. So now it'll actually be correct. And then save. You can actually see which is the one that I want and which one I don't want. Pretty sure from the orientation, this is the one that I want. I will rename it T-junction. Do I need to say save? And then I'm going to remove the old incorrect one. So next time I need a T-junction like this, I already have it built, if I remember. And then all I need to do now is connect all the rail to the existing rail and add some signals. And hope for the best. We will let things run. We will see if anyone starts complaining. We have a couple of people complaining about not enough work. Amazingly, we now have a solution for that. We're going to look at routes. First thing we want to change is potatoes, because we need to be delivering potatoes to Vatican City as well as to Madrid. We're going to do a couple of things here. Oh, I haven't put any signals over on this part of the track. I need to do that first. Oh, and the other thing, I forgot, I don't actually need this entrance. It's not a big deal, but trains from Vatican City should always be coming in and using the bottom rail rather than using the top rail. I do need more signals here. And so now we can go back to the first problem, which was we want to add a stop to Potatoes to Madrid, change its name to Potatoes. I'm just going to call this Potatoes Delivery. And we're going to add a stop at Vatican City. And our plan is going to be, since I'm changing the order of stops, I'm going to pause it just long enough to do this. Vatican City first. And now we have a problem. We need to make sure that our potatoes are actually going to get to everywhere they need to go to. So I'm going to do two things. First of all, I'm going to add a weight condition for transferred cargo greater than or equal to 100. So this means that trains will never deliver more than 100 potatoes to Vatican City. If it's carrying less than 100 potatoes, it will deliver all it can. If it's carrying more than 100 potatoes, it will stop at 100 and then carry the rest of the potatoes to Madrid Station. And then the second thing we want to do on this design is add an optional stop. So the way we'll do that is we'll duplicate the Vatican City stop, and then we'll turn the first one to an optional. And this gives us control over the direction that trains go in. So what we're going to do is remove both of these conditions. Our new condition is potatoes on the platform for station cargo amounts at greater than 100. Just to be safe, we're going to specify specifically potatoes, and then we can go to 4. So optional stops really give you conditional train routing. What this means is the train is going to load potatoes at Potato Farm Station. Then, if there are 100 potatoes at Vatican City, we are going to just skip and just go to Madrid Station. On the other hand, if there are less than 100 potatoes at Vatican City, at the station itself, then we go to Vatican City Station and we unload 100 potatoes. And then we proceed to Madrid Station. In Madrid Station, we will unload as many potatoes as we can every time. And what that means is if the train needs to go to Vatican City, it will. If it doesn't need to go to Vatican City, it won't. Another thing to keep in mind is we have coal at Madrid Station. We don't have coal at Vatican City. That's part of the reason why I deliberately ordered things this way. The train is always stopping at Madrid Station, so we'll always refuel on coal. If we made the Vatican City stop, if we made the Madrid Station stop optional instead, then it might not stop at Madrid Station. It might not be able to get more coal. And so now that that line is set up, I'm going to start running again. Vatican City should start just getting potatoes soon. So it should show up over here if I leave this open. And we're going to build 2 new lines, 2 new routes. First new route is going to be a fish train. And this train is going to be going from Vatican City Station, where it will pick up fish. I'm not worried about it picking up all the fish because the market is right there. So the market should always be supplied with fish. And then deliver the fish to Madrid Station, where we are now unloading. And so we can see this loop. Things look great. Makes me wonder if I want to actually mirror image this junction. I probably do. I'm not going to do it now. And then a second train route between Vatican City and Madrid. And this is just going to be called Visitors. Now that I have 2 settlements, my workers like to take vacations. So we can start at Vatican City Station, and we're not going to swap workers, we're going to swap travelers. These should be travelers, I'll fix that. And then go to Madrid Station, and Madrid Station will also swap travelers. The way travelers work is when workers become tired and return to their settlements. Some workers will choose to go on vacation. They will choose to travel to another settlement. So you can only have travelers if you have more than 1 settlement. While they are there, they will spend lots of money, so it increases your income. It also keeps your laborers busy. Right now in Vatican City, I have 200 rested workers and only 90 working. As my working workers become tired and stop working, now some of them will go travel to Madrid and vice versa. Also point out, potatoes work. I'm now delivering lots of potatoes to Vatican City, which has actually increased the population of Vatican City because people have started moving in immediately. This is why there's now so many spare workers at Vatican City. So I've added those 2 new routes. I have to add trains. New train number 1, this is going to be the fish train. We'll take the faster locomotive. We will take the coal tender. We will select the box wagon, right? Yes. And change your goods to fish. And then just duplicate that wagon or car a bunch of times. Send you to fish delivery. And you can start immediately. And then we'll build the second train, again an ST20 coal tender, and this one is a passenger train. So it's going to carry the ST20 wagon rather than the ST10 wagon because the ST10 wagon is limited in how fast it can go to the same speed as the ST10 train. The ST20 wagon can go the same speed as the ST20 train. So we will just set you up. We will set you up to carry travelers, or to follow the traveler route, and we will deploy you. Do I need another signal? I think I do. I just caught the way that the train was pausing. And I think I need a signal because this rail is part of that rail and the timing was a problem. So what should be happening at this time is we should start seeing travelers from Madrid. 20, it's a start. 20 workers who are resting are headed to Vatican City. And actually, it's probably these 20 workers. And train is coming from Vatican City carrying 9 travelers. One more thing to do today. Trains are getting really backed up at Madrid Station. I can help that. I'm going to add additional platform at Madrid Station, which has always been the intent. And then we need a bridge to connect the platform over. And on the other side, same thing. And a bridge to connect you over. As far as I know, the placement of bridges doesn't matter at all. You just need to make the platforms connected. And so now trains can load and unload on both sides. And so things will go faster. And we can also add a road here. Doesn't really matter, I don't think, but it means that workers here now have a direct connection to this platform. And so it effectively extends the range of the station a bit. Another way to help the range of the station is to change the roads to stone road. Don't have to use the upgrade tool. It is often easier to use the upgrade tool to see what you need to do. Let me try to just do it directly. Just select the entire region and see if it lets me do it. It would. I don't have enough materials to do it that way. Also, I don't have enough money to do it that way. There we go. You can see things are much further, and I'm pretty sure we're also going further over here than we can over here because of this additional connection to the station. So many more workers can now reach the station. They'll be willing to take vacations. They will be willing to travel to the various other work sites, and things look great. On the basis that I don't need it yet, but I will need it soon, I'm going to build another coal mine. We will build this one. We can get to this one reasonably conveniently. Put the storage there. I'm going to build a road here. And again, we're going to do the same thing we did at the quarry. We're going to add a distribution center. And we'll just put you right here. And we'll update your storage. You're taking from coal mines and you are delivering to the station. And both of these will start getting workers soon enough and step up our coal production. And that should be enough for today. Let me check. Your fish consumption is too high. You should be getting fish deliveries from Vatican City to help that. Is all the fish going to the market right now? No, you're full. So where's the train? Carrying lots of fish. You should be unloading at Madrid Station. What's happening? Am I missing a transport? You have tons of fish. I need to specify. I told you to carry potatoes. You also need to carry fish. Pause you for just a moment. And this is how many I needed before. I need to add. I'll step you up to 11. So now you should be able to deliver the entire delivery of potatoes and the entire delivery of fish. And so Madrid will have enough fish again. Missed that. Always important to check. And since the station is now larger, it can hold more of everything, which is fine. All right, I said I was hoping to build 2 villages during this episode. We ran out of time. Built 1 new village. I'll build another new village next time. I had to do a bunch of other stuff first. So next time, the second new village. Our goal for our second new village is to continue on the progression. Big thing we need is cotton farms. We unlocked the cotton farm, so I want to build a new village to supply workers to a cotton farm and also to start producing clothing in the village. But that will be next time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This is where I say like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope I will see you again. Thanks for watching.